Each baby and mum will find their own favourite feeding positions. Knowing a few different positions may help with breastfeeding problems.
So this would be quite a traditional position here with the baby across. It's really important to make sure that the baby's head is free to tilt back, so not holding the head but supporting the baby over the shoulders. This is quite a nice one because you've got quite a lot of control over what the baby's doing. I'd be sort of holding the weight of the baby sort of close into my body here so that I don't feel like I've got the baby by the scruff of the neck, but holding the baby really close in here and supporting the neck. And then you can see I've got a really lot of control, and I can really, wait till the baby opens its mouth really, really wide and then bring the baby in quickly. Here I'm just giving my breast a little bit of support underneath, but that you don't have to, just only if you're comfy. With supporting the breast, it's important that you don't squish the breast or sort of push it somewhere that it doesn't want to be. So you can do that if you want to. And then once the baby's on, then you can bring that arm round and sort of be really nice and comfy, but making sure that baby's head stays free. Another really nice position is the underarm position. Sometimes people call that the rugby ball position. Now the secret with this is to make sure that the baby is far enough back. So one of the things we haven't talked about is that the baby needs to start off with its nose opposite the nipple, so that bottom lip comes a long, long way away from the nipple and the baby gets the right kind of mouthful. So for the baby to start off nose to nipple, actually the baby's got to be quite a long way back. This is nice if you've got very big breasts, actually. It's nice if you've had a cesarean. It's nice if you've got twins, and it's really nice if you've got a toddler, because you can have the baby sort of tucked out of the way, and then you can be with your toddler and reading stories and doing puzzles or whatever. Really, you can feed the baby in as many different positions as you and the baby can find. One of the things is this idea of biological nurturing. Basically, it means the mum being in this sort of more laid back position and just having the baby here, and then the baby sort of, if you like, helping itself, relying on the baby's instincts to do the right thing, which are really strong. So some mums find that really good and really nice. The babies sort of bob around and sort of latch themselves on, and mostly they do really well on that. But that's not so convenient necessarily if you're out and about down the town and you want to breastfeed discreetly in a cafe.
I was finding I was so busy trying to get him to latch, and I was manhandling him a little bit, and I think that's where the bad latch was coming from, because he was starting off well and then his jaws were getting really small, and that was getting quite painful. Whereas just this being slightly more relaxed and letting him find his own way is it doesn't hurt so much.
I found that changing the position of my baby really helped with the way that my milk came down and keeping my boobs comfortable, and I'm so glad that someone told me to do that. Well, we would lie back on the sofa sometimes and just be, she's a heck of a lot bigger now, but just sort of like that, so I'd be really comfy and she was just led up in front of me, and then this way, which kind of rugby ball position like that. And on one of those wedgie pillows is really useful, because then you're not getting a really bad neck and back all the time. When you're that tired and you're hardly sleeping, you're not thinking creatively. You're just thinking, baby, go to sleep.
We got home, we brought him home on the third day, and my milk came in. That was, wow. Nothing could have really prepared me for that. And it really, I would say it took a good 6 or 7 weeks before I felt like I had gotten the hang of it. Now I know that he was eating because I could see his weight gain, but it was hard, it was really painful. And I didn't have any blockage or anything, but it was the nipple getting chewed up or whatever was happening. It was so painful. And I remember waking up in the night for feeding him and sitting in the chair in our room and sobbing, saying, I can't even feed my baby. Really, having these sort of moments. So I ended up going to a breastfeeding clinic at one of the local hospitals. And that was so funny. There were these 2 amazing nurses that were just, it was this really comfortable lounge, and they came in and said, what's happening? And I had Dell with me, and I instantly started crying because I was so exhausted. And I felt so silly and self-conscious and talking about it, and it helped me so much. By 6 or 7 weeks, I was still holding him so awkwardly. I'd had my hand under his head, and it was this big thing, and you know, they sort of said, now you're past that. He's latching well. You can actually hold him, you know, all the ways that I always pictured I would feed. Right? It took me 2 months to get there, with him cradled here and just holding him very nicely. And then they told me that I could feed him lying down on my side. And I started doing that in the night and early mornings, and that was a huge help. It really helped, and he, you know, we just, from that moment on, it became really natural.